Hola, hola, buenas tardes.
¿Qué tal? Muy buenas tardes. Sean todos nuevamente bienvenidos a nuestro webinar Cómo enseñar inglés en confinamiento. Para iniciar, voy a reproducirles un video que les presentará a nuestro ponente del día de hoy, Carlos Cepeda.
Carlos Cepeda es ingeniero en electrónica y comunicaciones por el Instituto Tecnológico y de Estudios Superiores Monterrey, productor de cine, maestro en arreglo y orquestación, conferencista y socio fundador de las empresas Huevo Cartoon y Educar e Innovación. Fue incluido en el grupo de los 20 líderes emprendedores Entrepreneur of the Year México en su primera edición y es doctor honoris causa de Iberoamérica por su trabajo en pro de la educación latinoamericana. También fue reconocido por la ONU con el World Summer Award en la categoría de creatividad y entretenimiento. Ha sido innovador educativo por más de 20 años. Como director de innovación y como autor, sus libros de texto sobre tecnología, desarrollo de la inteligencia y educación financiera han vendido más de 3 millones de ejemplares. Démosle la bienvenida a Carlos Cepeda Caiba.
En estos momentos cedo la palabra a Carlos para que por favor dé inicio a su ponencia. Gracias.
Good evening, everybody. How are you? I'm going to be presenting today in English because this is intended for English teachers. I hope everybody can understand what I'm saying. I'm going to try to speak slowly. If I'm speaking too fast, please just tell me. Teaching English online. So once you're here and you're already committed 1 hour or so of your precious and valuable time to be here, let's make it the best possible use of your time. And in order to do so, I'm going to give you some guidelines of today's session. First, everything that I'm going to share today is going to happen here, this window. So make sure this window is your main window, make it as big as possible. The way to do that is hover your mouse over my face and click on the pin icon. So the window is as big as possible and everything is going to happen there. Got it? Second, this is going to be very fast-paced, very practical, with a lot of actionable items. So I need you to be interactive. I need you to participate. And the way we're going to participate is through the chat mainly. I'm going to be asking questions in every step of the session, and I want you to answer these questions. First, I want to ask you a big favor. Please, everybody, open your cameras. I want to say hello to all of you. Everybody, open your cameras. You can close it later. It's just to say hello, just to know it's real people there. Hi there. Hi, Raul. Hi, Gilly, Monica, Daniela, Antonio, Adrian, Rosa, Silvia, Maria, Leida, open your camera, please. Gustavo, Betty, Stephanie. Hey, great to see you guys. Great to see you. So you can close your camera later, and at the end, I'm going to ask you to open it again. Now, have a notebook ready, or open a notepad application, whatever, because I'm going to give you a lot of actionable and practical tips that you can start applying tomorrow. So either you work already with us, with Educare or not, you're going to finish this session, today's sessions, with a lot of ideas that you're going to be able to apply starting tomorrow. So everybody has my face as big as it gets?
Yeah, sure.
See my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, use the chat. So open only my screen and the chat, and that's it. Only my screen and the chat. Okay, let's test this. Please type in the chat window, where are you from? So let's see if the message is going through. Thank you. Great, Mexico, El Salvador, Mexico City. I'm from Mexico. Mexico City, is that it? Everybody's from Mexico City? Acapulco. I bet it's hot there, right? Right now I'm in Canada. It's like, it's not too cold. It's like 7, 8 degrees right now. Spring is coming soon, so it's not that bad. I went skiing today. That was fun. So, ready? Let's begin. Teaching English online. What I'm going to share with you today is tips, is ideas, is best practices that I was lucky enough to learn through the years, and especially this last year during the pandemic. I began my education journey as an English teacher many, many years ago. And I was an English coordinator, and I had to select materials and train teachers. And I have 10, 12 different English teaching certifications. And for many years, I witnessed a lot of English classes with a lot of teachers. And I could learn a lot of good practices and bad practices. And this last year, I have witnessed a lot of English classes. Just this week, I have been in about 6 English classes. And I've been able to learn from all of you, from all of the teachers, the best things that are working great and some that are not working as great. So today I'm going to share 7 topics, 7 ideas. We're going to go through digital tools, non-digital tools, routines, engagement, split classroom, time management, and tracking progress. This is not a sales pitch, even though I'm going to take 5 minutes at the end of the presentation to show you the tool we are promoting. And many of these ideas are not exclusive to online teaching, but today I'm going to focus on online teaching. Any questions before we begin? Can we begin? Ready? Type in the chat, yes, we are ready. Awesome. What part of Canada are you from? I'm in Montreal right now, Montreal. So let's begin with number 1. Number 1 is digital tools. For many, many years, English teaching has been using of technology, because technology is a very important component in English teaching, right? The technology I used when I was an English teacher many years ago was this. So many of you maybe remember this amazing technology. It's not digital, but it's technology anyway. So I put my tapes with the conversations, and students listen to it. So why do we use technology? Because digital tools are an excellent way to complement teaching. Right now in the online classes, you're going to focus on 3 main digital tools. The number 1 is your main platform. Your main platform is the equivalent of your textbook. It's where all the content is going to be. It's where the audio files, the video files are going to live. Is where the lessons are. Is where the activities are. So it's the equivalent of your textbook and your activity book, but in a digital form. Now, many of you probably use some kind of textbook already, maybe from Macmillan or Pearson or Oxford or whatever. And most of these publishers, they already have some kind of digital tools, some audio files, or maybe some activities, or maybe an ebook in a PDF format. let me tell you, that's not going to cut it. So you need to choose an all-in-one tool, because many publishers I've seen, they have an ebook that's not interactive, and they have a website where some activities reside, and they have some videos elsewhere, and that's not going to cut it. It's going to be a lot of work for you. It's going to be confusing for your students. So pick a main platform that's an all-in-one solution, where the reading material, the listening, the videos, interactive, this is very important, self-evaluating activities. I'm going to talk about that later. It's going to save you hours, tons of work. Choose a platform that's gamified. Gamification means that we include elements common in games, like rewards or play, to motivate the students. Test, apps, certification, teacher portal, everything. Choose an all-in-one solution. I'm going to talk about this a little later. So once you have your main platform, this is the one component that is going to put all your class together. If your parents are going to invest in something, it has to be the main platform. It's the substitute of your textbook and your activity book. Now, the second digital tool is your video conferencing platform. And all of you have chosen some platform. Please type in the chat, what is the video conferencing tool you are using right now in your online classes? Okay, Fabiola is using Zoom, Maria is using Zoom. Most of you are using Zoom. That's a good one, Zoom Pro, because I've seen some classes, this is important, that they use Zoom, but they didn't want to pay for the Pro version. So they are using the free version. And the free version is limited to 40 minutes lessons. So they either cut the class to 40 minutes or they have to log out and log in again. So don't do that. Either pay for it. I mean, I know you're not going to pay from your pockets, but if the school is not paying for it, choose another platform. You don't have to pay for it. There are many free options. Like today, we're using Meet. It works great, and it's free. And I'm not going to talk more about this because all of you have some platform already. And the third one is an evidence portfolio. So what's an evidence portfolio? An evidence portfolio is a cloud-based service. It's a storage place online where students can upload stuff, files, documents, or homeworks, or videos, or audio files, or videos of themselves. So it's very important that you pick and have a digital evidence portfolio, because that's where many of the evidences of students' work are going to live. So type in the chat if you are already using an evidence portfolio cloud-based service, and what is it? So most of you are using Classroom. Google Classroom is a great tool. It's free for school, so don't worry about that. Edmodo is a great tool. It's an LMS. Some companies are selling some platforms that include, of course, homeworks and evidence portfolio, etc. You don't have to pay for that. So invest your money in your main platform and get the rest for free. Perfect. Classroom, great. CISO, that's a good tool. CISO, is it free, Michelle? Is it free, CISO? My kids use CISO. I don't know if it's free. Nope, it's not free. Okay, good. So that's the boring part, the digital tools. We're going to go back to the one we are offering later. It's an all-in-one solution. But let's go to the non-digital tools. Because I don't know why many teachers seem to have forgotten that there are non-digital tools to teach English. And they just stand in front of the little camera, and they're in a square this size, and they are giving the most boring class. And let me show you some of my non-digital tools. I have taught many online classes, and I have flip cards. These are my animal flip cards. These are actually in both Spanish and English. So when I show them, I cover the English. Let me go bigger here. Yeah, I cover the Spanish word, and I show the flip card. So this is a dolphin. I have, of course, other different flip cards, letters, which have little animals in the back. Now, another tool we can use is a simple board. So you get a board, you can write on this board, and it's very useful to do quick teaching, to correct something is very useful. I also mentioned in the slides, let me show you the slides. I also mentioned realia. What is realia? Does anyone know what is realia? Nobody knows? Real objects. Okay, yes. Realia is just real life objects. So if you're teaching about food, why not go to the kitchen and say, that's theme-based, this one, theme-based location. So go to the kitchen and you say, hello students, today I am in my kitchen. We're going to learn about food. This is an apple, this is an egg, this is a fork, this is a spoon, and these are knives. Realia is very, very useful. 2D cutouts. 2D cutouts are just little, you print little drawings that you get from the internet. Actually mine, and you put them in categories. This is the family. So I have a dad, a mom, the sister, the aunt, even the dog is here, look. The dog is here. And I put in mine, I put little magnets in the back. And my board is magnetic, so I can just put them there, and I can reenact something or tell a story or whatever. I have shapes, and I have animals, and I have, so that's very cheap to do. It's very easy. You print them, you cut them, and if you want, you can plastify them, paste a little magnet. These are flexible magnets, very cheap. And this is a great tool to use. So is any of you using 2D cutouts? Anyone using 2D cutouts? Realia, anyone using Realia? That's cool, huh? Don't forget about non-digital tools. What else we have here? Puppets. Puppets are great. And don't think puppets are just for little kids. Grown-ups love puppets. I love puppets. I don't have like real puppets, but I have finger puppets. So I have my dog and I have my lion here. I think I got this in the dollar store, but if you don't have a dollar store, you can get in Amazon. You can just look for finger puppets. I have like 10 of these, and they are very useful to make them talk, to make dialogues. Puppets are awesome. Kids and teenagers love puppets. Toys. So I got my toys. I got my Mr. Potato Head. So this is great to teach, for example, about feelings, because Mr. Potato Head is sad, or Mr. Potato Head is happy, or body parts, the nose, the eyes, etc. These are great. I have this, this is my son's Batman. He gave it to me. Well, he didn't give it to me. He doesn't know that I have it, but he's not gonna miss it. He has a lot of toys. And I have, this is my girls, this is Elsa. So Batman and Elsa, they can have conversations about any topic. So hello, little girl. Hello, sir. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. I lost my dog. Oh, you lost your dog. So that's great. Did you use toys? Marion Tiveros, me, you what? You use what? You use, Mari, what do you use? Toys? Puppets, Realia, theme-based location, Legos are fun. You can use all of that. One of my favorites, my students' favorites is my Homer here, because he says, when kids are right, he says, look. Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. So they love it, kids love it. So next, take note, we're going to the next one, number 3. Is routines. So why are routines important in an English class? In every class, but in an English class, because students don't master the language, routines are especially important. Why? Who can tell me why? So don't make the mistake that I've been watching in a lot of the online classes that I've been witnessing. Teacher goes online and he says, "Good morning, please open your book on page X," or "Please watch this video or do this activity." So where's the routine? Because that's excellent answer, Fabiola. Because that makes the kids feel safe. They know what's going to happen. They feel confident. And they know some things that even if they don't master the language, they know some things that they can do. For example, these are just examples. You don't have to do them all. But for example, warm-up. So what do you do for warm-up? You can do left brain, right brain exercise. You can do some jumping jacks. You can talk about the weather, gym brain. That's excellent. A hello song is great. If you do a hello song, pick a simple song, a classic children's song, and you can change the lyrics to match the topic you're teaching. For example, if I am teaching about happy and sad, instead of singing the song in the regular way, you can say, I am happy, I am happy, I am sad, I am sad. And choose a hello song and do that song every day, the same song with the same lyrics for at least 10 days. Why? Because that way you give the kids an opportunity to learn the lyrics and they can sing along. That's very important. You can do a review. You can do some games, maybe not every day. But for example, when I was teaching live classes, actually, Friday was games and story time. And so kids know that Fridays is games and story time. So I plan ahead, I schedule my activities. So we have 5 minutes story time and 5 minutes for a game. Please share, guys, please share. Noemi, she says, I have a special song I play every Friday. That's awesome, thank you. Anyone else wants to share? Remember, we can learn from each other. Homework. So if you're assigning homework, make it a routine. So kids know that 5 minutes prior the end of the class, you say what the homework is. And maybe the homework doesn't have to be a long homework. It can be something very simple. A goodbye song. It's going to take you 2 minutes. But this routine, so the kid knows the class is over. I've seen a lot of classes. I'm going to talk about time management next. But I've seen a lot of classes where time runs out and the teacher doesn't even have time to say goodbye. So you have to be very careful of that. I don't leave. Oh, okay. I don't assign homework, Maria. I don't assign homework. I try to cover all. That's perfect. You don't have to. You don't have to. But do you have a routine, Maria? So establish a routine. Number 4. This is one of the most important. Engagement. Positive quote interpretation. Sylvia, you're going to have to explain what that is. Okay, in a little while. So engagement. I've seen, I don't know, maybe over 50 online classes with different teachers. And most of those classes are as boring as they can be. The kids are watching the teacher in a little square. The teacher's voice is monotone. Everybody's sleeping. So why does this happen? So an English class has to be fun and engaging. And in a real life class, it's very difficult sometimes to engage the students. Nonetheless, in an online class. So how do we do it? How do we do it? And please share what you do. But number one rule is online, you have to be larger than life. You have to make big movements and get close to the camera and use different tones of voice to have students engage. Be larger is the number one rule. Be larger than life. Number two, thank you, Fabiola. TPR. What is TPR? Teachers, what is TPR? Type it in the chat. Raul, I use some app like Kahoot quiz. That's perfect, Raul. You can use digital tools like Kahoot or Mentimeter, digital tools to quiz your students and engage them. So TPR stands for total, write it down, please. Total physical response. It's already on the chat. Total physical response. What does that mean? What does total physical response mean? But let me tell you something. I have taught, personally, hundreds of online English classes to kids in China. And that's the perfect scenario. Why? Because they don't speak English, or they're learning, I mean. They don't speak Spanish, certainly. And for sure, I don't speak Chinese. So how do we communicate? Well, total physical response. So say, hello, how are you? I am happy to see you. I am happy to see you. So that's total physical response. You use, right, Maria? You use mimics. You are larger than life. And this is very important, the last one, English only, please. In every class that I have witnessed, in almost 90% of the classes, online classes that I have witnessed in this past year, all teachers go to Spanish. Don't use Spanish. A couple of weeks ago, I was looking at a class. She was a very good teacher, but she was doing this. She was saying, good morning, please, or please go to this activity, vayan a esta actividad, and then watch the video, y vean el video. And she was doing this simultaneous translation kind of thing. So this is how the brain works. Human brain is designed to be lazy. That's human nature. The human brain is designed for minimal effort. So if my brain knows that you're going to translate for me, why bother, right? I don't have to think anymore. I don't have to make an effort to understand you and to decode what you're saying or what you are mimicking, because translation is coming. So please do not use English. Do not use English for almost as much as you can, English only. And I can tell you, it can be English only all the time. What happens when the students talk? Because I have here, look, I have here teacher versus number 3, teacher versus student talking time. Think of this and answer me on the chat, type in the chat. What percentage of your class it's you who's speaking, and what percentage of the class is your students who are talking? Who can tell me? So I'm giving an online English class. What percentage of the class is the teacher speaking and what percentage is the students? So Fabiola says 60 me, 40 students. What grade, Fabiola? What grade? That depends on the grade, right? Depends on the level. Because if I'm teaching to first graders who do not master the language at all, they just know a few words, they cannot be doing 80% of the talking. So the teacher is going to be doing 90% of the talking. Think of them as babies. So learners of a foreign language are just as babies. They cannot produce. They just know random words. They do not know the structures, but they listen. They listen, they listen, they listen. So they are learning, and little by little, by repetition, they are making the structures, they are making the sentences, they are telling the words, and they're producing and speaking more. So when they are growing older and their level is going up, they have to be doing most of the talking. So for a secondary grade English class, students should be doing 60-70% of the talking. And of course, you still have to teach and you still have to model, but goes to a minimum. And when students talk, because this is very, very common, students don't know a word and they speak Spanish. That's it. They go for, the human brain is lazy. They go for the easy way. They just speak Spanish. So do not allow them. Do not answer them when they speak in Spanish. It's like when the kids, the Chinese kids, talk to me in Chinese. Even if I wanted to, I just cannot answer them. So if your students speak to you in Spanish, just tell them, I don't know what you're saying. I do this with my kids. I do this with my kids at home. So they practice. They are 7 and 8 now. So they talk to me in Spanish and I say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. And they say, come on, boy, come on, Dad. They get mad. They get frustrated. It's normal, but they learn. So do this. Let me read the comments. Thank you for your participation. It's very important. I see only 4 or 5 people typing in the chat. I want everybody to type. 5th grade, and that's, let me check, that's 60-40, that's 60-40%, that's good. 14 to 15-year-old teens, some of them speak English like that age, and some of them don't. I have a very unleveled group. Yeah, that's very common. That's very common, but with our solution that I'm going to present later, you're going to be able to get around that. Betty, Beatriz, is it okay? Do they call you Betty, Beatriz? Elementary, 6th grade?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can call me Beatriz, you can call me Betty. Yes.
They get frustrated, right? They get frustrated. I don't care. That's part of it.
And especially, you know what, I'm going to interrupt you a little bit.
It's okay.
Where we live over here, it's by Michoacan. In our culture, it's really difficult. It's like once they like learn on, and I'm always speaking to them in English, they get mad, or if they even call their parents. And sometimes when they have conference, when they have the conference, they're like really, oh, you know what, that teacher only speaks English. She doesn't want to listen to me, and it's like I'm having this kind of this mad situation with the parents, and they'll be calling me, no, maestra, please be more like patient with the students, this and that. But what can I do? It's really hard over here.
Yeah, but that's a different thing. I can be very patient, but I don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. You want to talk to me? Okay, you don't know, I understand. You don't know the words. So it's like a baby. So what do you say? You point, you act, you do whatever you need to do to communicate. But that makes their brain ready to learn more. It's very important. Number 5, this is one of the most important. So are you taking notes, guys? Number 5.
Yeah, we're taking notes. I'm taking notes.
Classroom. So the flipped classroom, I'm sure many of you are at least aware of the concept of the flipped classroom. Please type in the chat. Do you know what the flipped classroom is? Yes or no? Do you know what the flipped classroom is? Thank you for your participation, Ligia. Thank you. So no, it's yes, Michelle. Flipped classroom with 3 years old. Yeah, it can be difficult. It can be challenged. We're going to talk about it. Yes, I do. Okay. So for those of you that do not know the flipped classroom concept, it's a teaching strategy where some of the activities that traditionally are done by students in class, those activities are flipped, and the student is going to do those activities by herself or by himself at home. Let me give you an example. Just last week, I was watching a class. It was a teacher, a man, who was giving this class. And it was secondary grade students. And they had to watch this video because they really had to understand the video in order to advance and complete some activities that came later. So the video was about 4 minutes long. So 4 minutes is not that long. But you know that for the students to really grasp, understand the video, they have to watch it several times. One time is not enough. Do you remember the cassette tapes? So when I used the cassette tapes in many years ago, I had to rewind and replay. So it's the same with the video. So this teacher so if you play a 4-minute video 4 or 5 times in class, how long is that? So that's about 20-25 minutes of his 50-minute class. So it's half his class. He's just pressing the play button. And during the feedback time, I was telling to him, where are you most needed? This is the key question. Where are you most needed? Because the students do not need you at all to press the play button. They don't need you for that. They can play the press button by themselves before the class or after the class. And you focus your precious, limited, valuable time in what's important, in what the students need you for. The students do not need you for independent reading. If they are going to read in silence and in order to understand and underline the words that are new for them or underline the verbs in certain time, they have to read several times. So they do not need you for independent reading. They do not need you for listening a script. So those kind of things they do by themselves at home. So you have to assign pre-class work or post-class work. So you tell them, for next class, you have to come prepared. So here's the video. Watch this video 10 times. You have to watch it 10 times. And I'm going to ask you several questions. I'm going to ask you, what is the video about? What are the names of the characters? What is their problem? And what was the solution, for example? So, and they go. So this is an assignment. So they go, they do this on their own using your main platform, your main digital tool. And when they come back, then you do the important thing. So tell me, please type in the chat, what do students need you the most for? What do students need you the most for? Writing, okay, correcting writing, speaking, of course, because technology cannot interact with them, cannot feel them. Modeling, that's a good one. And some modeling. But guys, really, students do not need a teacher for a grammar exercise because technology can do that better, faster, and it's going to save you tons of work. They do not need the typical exercise. Instruction says, in the workbook, the instruction is convert the next sentences from the affirmative to the interrogative form. It's a typical exercise, right? And the exercise number 1, John plays in the park. And the student point, does John play in the park? And Mary likes swimming. Does Mary like swimming? So, and you have to grade that, and it's going to take you a lot of time to grade, especially online. It's going to take you a lot of time to grade a workbook. So instead of that, they go to an application, they go to a technology, a digital-based tool. The questions are there, they answer the questions, the tool is going to grade it. The tool is intelligent enough, artificial intelligence, intelligent enough to know if the student is competent or not in that particular topic. And you have the score, you have the grading right at your fingertips live. So this is the concept of flipped classroom that is very related with time management, which is number 6. Let me read your comments. Live worksheets, something like that. That's a good one, live worksheets. The thing about live worksheets or many apps, there are many apps, of course, to practice English. The thing is that choose, remember I told you in the first slide, choose an all-in-one solution, because if not, it's going to be a nightmare. The students have to remember a lot of passwords, and you have to remember where is this and where is that. So just choose 3 digital tools, that's it. Your main platform, your video conferencing tool, and your evidence portfolio. But you can complement sometimes with Kahoot or stuff like that. Time management. Number 6. Time management is hard in teaching, isn't it? I think it's one of the biggest struggles because time is limited. It's never enough. So that's why flipped classroom is a great tool. It's a great teaching tool. So be very aware of where is your time, the learning objectives. What time do you invest in delivering instructions? What time or how much time do you invest in actually teaching? Because you have to teach. Some teachers think because they have a digital platform, a digital tool, they don't have to teach anymore. No, you have to teach. So that's why you use your board and your puppets and your modeling, and you disguise yourself, whatever. You have to be an all-act man. Modeling, you have to invest time in modeling. So Fabiola is asking, teacher, you send them specific, they don't need to sign up. Okay, thank you, Marisol. Fabiola, so what do students need us for? So what the students need us for human interaction. That's the short and simple answer. Students need us for human interaction because technology is going to be mechanical, and everything that's mechanical, you don't have to do it. The technology is going to do it. But to check the mood, the feeling in a writing, in a poem, to check how a dialogue evolves, to check the subtle understanding of the text, that's what students need you for. They need you to talk, they need you to interact, they need you to ask them questions, they need you, that's the human interaction. Thank you. And number 7, the last one. So I lost my train of thoughts. Number 5, flipped classroom, and number 6, time management, are very related, because if you master the flipped classroom, if you assign pre-class work and post-class work, you're going to save lots of time. And getting back to number 1, if you have the right digital tools, then you can use your time where it's more worth it. And number 7 is tracking progress. Let me ask you something. How often should you track progress of your students? How often? Every 3 months, every year? What do you think? Every time we finish a unit? Okay, it's a good one. Every day? What do you think, Sylvia? What do you think, Ligia? What do you think, Oscar? What do you think, Karina? What do you think, Laura, Jaime, Leida, Lourdes, Carolina? Every class, every month, every day? Yeah, well, in a different way. Ideally, every day, right? Every day you should track progress. That doesn't mean you have to assign a note every day. But you can track progress in many ways through participation, and participation should be done every class, through activities. And these activities, maybe some of them you have to grade yourself. but some of them are interacting and are self-evaluating activities. You don't have to grade them, but you can keep progress. You can quiz them orally. You can quiz them orally, or you can quiz them formally with a quiz tool. You can track progress through presentations the students do, through projects. These are long-term tracking tools, or ultimately through tests or assessments that you can do every month or every 2 months or at the end of each unit. So the thing is, the more tools you have to track progress, the better. Sometimes tracking progress is just a matter of taking note of something you notice in your class, taking note of some little problem student has. Because I know many of you know your students very well and have them in mind, but tracking progress of every student, of every class, of every group is, do not trust in your memory, do not trust. So use some kind of tool. It can be a spreadsheet used to track progress and take notes of some things. Okay, so tell me, each class, review, participation, very good. Every day we finish the lesson, perfect. I'm going to take 5 minutes to show you our tool. Our tool is called Self-English. It's going to be very fast, and then we're going to go back to this because it's already 5:51 for you. What is Self-English? Self-English is a technology-enhanced program for TEFL. What is TEFL? Who knows what is TEFL? It's teaching English to, teaching English as a foreign language, or some say teaching English to foreign learners. And this, what that means is you're going to teach English to non-English speakers who live in a non-English speaking country. So if you're going to teach English to boys and girls in Mexico whose mother language is Spanish, and they live in Mexico where English is not the native language, so that's TEFL. If you were to teach English to immigrants in the United States, that would be TESL. I just put it in the chat. That would be teaching English as a second language. So that's TESL is for students who are non-English speakers living in an English-speaking country. So Self-English is a technology-enhanced program for TEFL, and it's an all-in-one solution. So in one digital platform, it's an ecosystem. And in this big ecosystem, we have everything you're going to need. It's going to save you a lot of time because you don't have to worry about where do I get the reading materials, where do I get the audio files, the videos to make the students interact or engage, the self-evaluating activities, gamification, the tests or assessments. I'm going to show you this later, the self-practice app. Certification, because many of you, many schools, and for many parents, a certification, a seal, a proof that someone tells me that my son or my daughter learned something is very important. Also, look for a tool with a teacher portal, teacher training, and technical and pedagogical support. I'm going to show you a little of this. The first thing I'm going to show you is the student book. So think of this. This can be in a tablet. It can be an iPad. It can be an Android tablet. It can be even, I've seen students using it in a phone. It's not optimal because it's small. It's not optimal, but in an emergency case, it's possible. Or you can use it in a computer, or you can use it online. So this is, I'm going to present in full. So this is the book. So we have This is secondary grade. In secondary, every unit begins with a project. We present the evidence. I'm going to enter just a regular lesson. Many lessons have videos.
Coming out of school.
I carefully clean the school every morning. I drive the school bus in the morning and after school.
It's all, we recorded it all here in Canada. It's perfect English, academic English. Then we have interactive, self-evaluating activities. There are many kinds of activities. In this case, this is a multiple choice activity. I'm going to answer 3 or 4, just you get a feel of it. So which action is not mentioned? I'm going to answer incorrectly. So here. Okay, so I get immediate feedback. I get my score, in this case 8, 2 stars. This score is reported immediately to the teacher. Okay, next activity is drag. Okay, I'm going to do it. Drag in the order it appeared in the video. Okay, so it was cleaning the school actually. Okay. Let's go. Well, we have the grammar, of course. Oh, this is a spelling session. This is a spelling session. We have to spell some words. Let's go to a pronunciation session.
Earth.
So
Without. Either. Teeth.
So you have the perfect
Church.
pronunciation, and you don't have to rely if you maybe don't remember how a word is pronounced. You have the perfect pronunciation there. We have at the end of each unit an evaluation, and we close with the project. So this is a listening section.
Live from the scene where a fire was finally put out. Just an hour ago, this old factory was partially consumed by flames. Good thing the fire brigade.
Okay, one more thing I want you to see is the My Progress section. So students are going to be able to track their own progress. And of course, the families, the parents are going to be able to see this. And the teacher, I'm going to show you the teacher portal in a little while, is going to be reported of all the activities that the kids make. So we use a 10 steps methodology in the upper grades. These are the 10 steps: leading, input, follow-up, language awareness, language presentation, the focus on function, the focus on form, listening and reading practice, a section that we call backup, and the creative use of language. In the lower grades, it's a little different, it's less steps. And just for 1st to 3rd grade of elementary school, the kids have a printed activity book, because in our research, we realized that kids this age need some concrete materials. I'm going to show you now the teacher's book. See, we see a colored one and a gray one. The gray one is the teacher version. So we have at the top, here at the top, this button. If I turn on the student button, the teacher is going to see it the same as the student. But if I turn it off, we have this section that says for the teacher. And we can see a suggestion of how long should every activity take and what could the teacher do. So planning becomes very, very simple. It's not the Bible. I mean, the teacher can still adapt. But in this for the teacher sections, you can have a step-by-step guide or tips on how to present the lesson, when you should present your tablet to the students, when they should present to you.
For obvious reasons, we can't study the history of books without first mentioning the history of writing. The earliest texts were written over 5,000 years ago.
So the teacher version also has the scripts of all the videos and audios. That's useful. So you have the script there. Sometimes the students have the script, sometimes they don't, depending on the objective. And the last thing is the teacher has already all the activities with the right answers. Well, that's a time saver. Okay, next thing I'm going to show you is the teacher portal. So this is the teacher portal. So I see here my groups. Let's go to, let's say, 4th grade. I choose a subject. In this case, I chose something in Spanish, but we choose a subject. And here we have all the students. We can export a report to a spreadsheet file, or we can go to specific students, see when did he upgraded his book, when he last opened it, what's his progress, what is the score, how many hits, how many attempts, how many stars, what percentage progress. We can see all the groups here. Okay, and as I told you, you can download the report, so you can maybe add, so you download this spreadsheet file, and maybe you want to add something that the ecosystem is not grading, for example, participation or punctuality or whatever you want to add. We also have the tests. So here I can check, as you can see, when the exam was applied and question by question if the student got it right or not. So you can program the tests. Next, I'm going to show you the self-practice app. This is very, very useful for everything that's mechanic. It's a time saver because everything that's vocabulary or grammar or functions, as I told you before, the student does not need you to learn this because technology is a good teacher. So I'm going to show it to you. So this is the self-practice app. So I'm choosing grammar here, going to, for example. I need the students to practice the going to verb. Choose the option that does not fit. Okay, I think that Bill. Okay. Choose the option that does not feel. I am going to go, walk, come. Yeah. That does not fit. Now choose one option that fits the blank. They're going to take a bus, goes to come. They're going to take a bus. It's the only one. It's the only option. Let's try another one. Let's go to functions, levels 5 and 6 and 4. And for example, expressing wishes. Expressing wishes. This is tricky because the time we use for expressing wishes is like the past tense, right? So I wish my dad didn't have to go. My friend Tom wishes he had the power to. Here I have to unscramble the sentence. Mom wishes she. Is it has or had? It's had, of course. Mom wishes she had a smart fridge. Okay, so that's the smart, sorry, not the smart, that's the self-practice app. Last, let me talk 2 minutes about certification, and we can wrap this up with a beautiful ribbon. So we work with the Oxford Tutorial College Certificate. This is an option. This is not included. It's an option. It's an extra. We have 3 series that are called Approach, Conquer, and Dominate. And in regards to the common European reference for languages, so we go from A1 to about B2 plus C1 level. So this is an option too, and the students are going to be prepared, and this is the exit level they're going to have. So before going to a fast Q&A section, I'm going to close with this. Teachers, it's time to up your game. I've seen teachers with 20+ years of experience that in reality are repeating the same single experience for 20 years. And it's not the same. I think a teacher with 20 years of experience, with 5 years experience or 3 years of experience should be a great teacher. Why do teachers don't become great teachers over the years? Well, there's one simple answer. It's because they are not willing to improve. So a great teacher is the one that has this clear mind, this clear conscience that everything can be improved. And if you have this clear conscience that everything can be improved, at the end of each day, it's going to take you 3 minutes, I promise. You take 3 minutes and reflect on your practice, and you say, what worked great today? And what didn't work so great? What little changes I can do tomorrow in order to become a better teacher and give a better online English class or live English class. So don't be that teacher with 20 plus years of experience that's repeating the same experience, because you have the perfect pedagogical laboratory for free every day. So you walk into the classroom or you connect into your Zoom call, and you have a pedagogical laboratory right there in front of you where you can try things. And as a researcher, because teacher should be a researcher, you can say, I tried this and it didn't quite work so well, so ditch it. But if you say, I tried this and I think with a little improvement, it's gonna really work. So then you have another tool in your toolbox. I'm going to end my presentation with this phrase that I coined about 20 years ago when I was teaching English and I was doing research to learn about the best practices. And this phrase is, the best thing about teaching is the students pay money, so you will teach them. But the teacher gets paid to learn. So teacher, it's time to up your game. So for the Q&A, I'm going to ask you again for a big favor. Please open your cameras. Everybody open your cameras. I'm very happy with your interactivity and participation, especially Marta, Silvia, Ligia, Fabiola, Oscar, Beatriz, Ilse Lucero, Raul, and that's it, because Mary Cruz, thank you, Edith. Yeah, quite a few. So open your cameras, everybody. Say hi. Going back to my full meeting. Yeah, good to see you. Sylvia, did you fall asleep? Are you in your pajamas already? Almost. Oscar, Rafael, Antonio. You know, this is another tip I want to give you. I've seen this in classes. Ask your students to open their cameras. Especially in the first class in the morning. Maybe they're in bed. They're with their pajamas. They have to have the right mind to learn. The right attitude to learn. Oh, I like your background, Maria Cruz. The flowers. Is that the one you use for teaching? That's a nice one. Any questions? Can I help you with something? Michelle says, can't, camera is broken. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, Michelle, it's broken. No, I believe it. I'm just kidding. So please tell me in the chat, was this useful, as I promised? Did you get actionable items, practical advice? Write something. Yes, thank you. I hope you took notes. The puppet, yeah, the puppets are great. You know, you can disguise yourself. One teacher told me once, he told me, does that mean I have to be a clown? And I say, oh, well, no. I mean, you don't have to be a clown, but don't be afraid to have fun. Don't be afraid to disguise yourself for a special occasion or for a special date, or ask your students to disguise themselves. Don't be afraid to make a fool of yourself. Teaching English should be fun, should be exciting for the students too. Thank you, Noemi. Thank you, Fabiola. Do you have any questions for me? Either about self-English, our solution, or about the tips? The thing you're looking at right now is our solution. So this is an actual school. The nice thing about it is that it's going to work now that you're online, that schools are closed, but it's going to work just as well when you go back to class. And you have to be prepared, because maybe we go back to live, but something happens and then you're back offline, you're back online. I mean. So this is a great tool that's going to work in both scenarios. Is this book just work online? Actually, no, Fabiola. If you use a tablet, once you download the books, you don't need an online, you don't need a live internet connection. It can be used offline. That's the beauty of it. Once you download the books, it can be used offline. Fabiola, I have a question. Okay, you already told me the questions. Last class, we dressed up for Book Character Day. It was really fun, dressed up as Harry Potter. Awesome. Perfect. Oh, Fabiola, it is not printed. It's digital only. If I were to give you another advice, guys, teachers, don't go back to printed book. Don't go back to a printed English book. Even if we go back to live, it's just obsolete. Don't go back to printed. What else? Another question? Okay, so I'm going to give you 1 minute. If you don't have any more questions, then guys, you're worse than my students. I asked you to open your cameras. You open your cameras for 5 seconds and then say, okay, I'm back to my activities, and you close your camera. Open your cameras, say goodbye. So thank you very much. Please expect an email from our team. We're going to contact you. Please answer to that email. Please don't block it. Don't send it to the spam, because the main idea is just to show you with more detail, to give you a demo. So maybe these tools can be helpful for you. So I hope you enjoyed it. I really did. I really enjoyed it. And I see you hopefully soon. Thank you.